Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Red Zone YouTube channel. I had an idea. Let's do a different type of video. The Final Four today, as of recording. Let's go into some basketball, but more specifically, buzzer beaters. Come with me now. Buzzer beaters are basketball's version of a Hail Mary. But there's one specific difference. They happen a lot more frequent. But that doesn't take away from, in my opinion, what makes the buzzer beater so good. That elation mixed with heartbreak when a game ends at the buzzer. But even for buzzer beaters, there's some that are just a cut above the rest. Some that happen on the biggest stage we have, a March Madness buzzer beater. Most likely, if you've seen a buzzer beater, it's happened in March. But even then, my dear viewer, there's a level untouched. The holy grail of March Madness buzzer beaters, the all-timers, one would say. But you might ask, how do you determine what is an all-timer compared to what isn't? Why is Christian Laettner's buzzer beater different than Ali Farouk Manesh? Well, you see, that's what I wanted to figure out. In this video, we'll take a look at the anatomy of what makes an all-timer buzzer beater, and even go over the 4 examples of the ones that I think stand alone. But before looking at specific examples, we need to go a little further. Take a look at the specific parts that contribute to an all-timer buzzer beater. First, the moment. When did the shot happen, and how did that contribute to the overall experience? Now, if we're being honest, a tournament buzzer beater is going to be better than a regular season buzzer beater 99% of the time. That's just the nature of the postseason tournament. But that even goes for the tournament as well. And while there have been incredible examples of buzzer beaters in the first round and the first 4, like this year when Tremont Mark of Texas drove the dagger in NC State's heart in the first 4, while Otega Owe stamped himself into March Madness lore with a half-court heave to tie the game against Santa Clara, you're always going to probably prefer the late rounds, the Elite Eights, the Final Fours, and the National Championships. And that's why we have to give even more credit to the players like Lorenzo Charles, Christian Laettner, Chris Jenkins, Jalen Suggs, and Darius Butler for showing up when it mattered the most. A buzzer beater to win in the Final Four or a national championship is really the pinnacle of what our sport has to offer. Now, what goes into an all-timer shot, you may ask? Well, it's a good question. It could be anything from the vibes in the arena to the announcer call to the shot itself. But I want to focus more on the announcer calls. Announcers can make or break a game. And specifically in 2023, for the infamous JP Pegas shot versus UVA, they made it all the more better. Imagine if that shot sounded like this.
UVA to inbound. They got it in. Oh, into the corner. What's he going to do? Oh, he throws it away. Oh, it's caught by the Furman player. He puts it up for a shot. Oh, he makes it. Wow, what a shot.
That would suck, right? But instead, we got this.
Travelers are playing with 4 guards, and the 4 guards out there, along with Cedric, are their best free throw shooters.
Clark in a straight jacket.
Oh, he didn't need to do that!
He threw it away.
That shot is an all-timer, and with no small part owed to one of the greatest of all time, Kevin Harlan. Now, as I said, there's a lot that goes into what makes an all-timer buzzer beater. It's kind of hard to convey in words, but you know it when you see it. It's a feeling that's impossible to describe, but when you watch one of these, you know you're watching something that's going to be talked about for years and years to come. That's the magic of these types of buzzer beaters. Take, for instance, Braylon Mullins against Duke last weekend. It's hard to put into words why that shot will stand alone, but we all know it will. Similar to instances we're going to cover later, there's just a vibe you get with these types of shots. And while some buzzer beaters are incredible, they just don't have that same vibe. Now let's look at some curious cases of shots that should be considered to be all-timers, but the general public doesn't see it as such. Let's flash back 3 years in the past to 2023 in the Final Four in Houston, where this man, Darius Butler, hit a buzzer beater to send San Diego State to the finals over the 9 seed Florida Atlantic. Now, by all intents and purposes, this should be an all-timer, right? The camera work is outstanding. The crowd pop, outstanding. The commentary, outstanding. The shot, magical. But it isn't. This isn't considered to be a general all-timer by the public, and I think that's due to brand bias. Imagine if these were Duke and Kansas instead of San Diego State and Florida Atlantic. This would be a shot that would be talked about for decades and decades to come. But sadly, we're left in an area where this is a shot that will not be remembered as one that is as good as it is. But in my humble opinion, I think this deserves to be up there with some of the greatest of all time. But what about Lorenzo Charles versus Houston? That wasn't a national championship. Why isn't that considered to be an all-timer? And yeah, those are all really good questions. But Lorenzo Charles is an interesting case. If we're going off of historical significance, it's probably number one. But the sad thing that holds this one back is the age. 1983 was 43 years ago, and we have a new era of college basketball fan. So sadly, despite the historical significance and the shot itself, Lorenzo Charles slightly misses out on that all-timer list. Before we get onto the final list of all-timers, I think I want to give a certain person their flowers. Bill Raftery is what makes March special to me. From his iconic calls of onions, double order, to his infectious personality that has made him so liked throughout the entire country. Raftery is one of the greatest of all time, and it's a testament to how good he is that he was able to make such a catchphrase like onions popular. It's no secret that Raf is starting to hang up the headset and wind down his career, but when he's eventually done, I think we should all take the time out of our day to go eat an order of onions. Maybe even make it a double order. Now let's delve into the 4 examples I consider to be perfect moments. Shots that will be written into the constitution of college basketball. Christian Laettner versus Kentucky. Chris Jenkins versus UNC. Jalen Suggs versus UCLA. And Braylon Mullins versus Duke. The first stop on our list takes us all the way back to 1992, the Elite Eight between Duke and Kentucky. They have battled through the entirety of not just regulation, but into overtime as well. And as where we stand, Kentucky has a 1-point lead over Duke with 2.1 seconds left. Duke has to go the entire length of the court. Something considered to be hard in today's game would have been downright impossible back in 1992. But what does Duke do? Grant Hill throws a Hail Mary that was caught by the taller Laettner about on the free throw line, who takes a second, composes himself, shimmies, and then puts up the dagger to win the game for Duke.
There's the pass to Laettner. Puts it up. Yes!
Everything about this shot is perfect. Everything down to the last minute detail. So perfect, in fact, that last night when I was finishing up my script, I was convinced that this was in the national championship, not the Elite Eight. I mean, this shot is improbable. Grant Hill chucking the ball down the entirety of the court, right perfectly on the button to Christian Laettner, for him to drag the dagger through the hearts of the Kentucky fans is just one of the coolest moments in basketball history. Why is this an all-timer, you may ask? I mean, do you have all day? The shot, the crowd, the camera work, the announcing, everything. It's perfect. For our next shot, we go to a national championship moment. Let me set the scene. 2016 Villanova versus UNC. Marcus Page just hit the greatest shot no one is ever going to remember. Raf is screaming onions. The place is going insane. The game's tied at 74. But as I said, there's 4.7 seconds left. Roy Williams, UNC's coach, knew that there was still time for some magic to happen, and boy, he didn't even know the half of it. As the ball gets inbounded to Ryan Arcidiacono, he goes all the way up the court, passes back to Chris Jenkins, and as Jim Nantz yells, "For the championship!" Jenkins gives Villanova the title in a quick dagger moment that has etched itself into college basketball lore.
Gonna go length of the court with Archie Diacono. 3 seconds at midcourt. Jenkins gives it to Jenkins for the championship.
This shot is legendary for many reasons, but I want to focus on two specific ones. First is the commentary. Jim Nantz, who is arguably one of the greatest commentators to ever pick up a microphone, right there with Raph, in my opinion, giving the call of his life for the championship, is one of those lines that is going to be remembered decades to come when we look back at this game. And second is the pyro crew for not letting the stupid refs make it about themselves and review whether Jenkins got the shot off in time before blasting the confetti seconds after the shot went in. Our next shot takes us to the 2021 Final Four. Gonzaga, who's trying to be the first team since my Hoosiers to go undefeated and win the national championship, versus the 11 seed UCLA, who started this whole tournament in the first four. Johnny Juzang has just hit a two-pointer to cut the game, to tie the game at 90, and for all intents and purposes, it looks like we're going to overtime. But before we even have a second to breathe, Jalen Suggs is pulling up from the logo and banking in the shot to kill UCLA's dreams and keep Gonzaga's perfect season alive.
Again with ball in his hands, in the paint, floater, short, got it back, ties it with three. Gonzaga has time to do something. Suggs for the win. Oh yes!
This shot once again shows why commentary is so important to these moments. This tournament happened in front of limited fans due to COVID, and so the crowd pop is about 50% less than what it usually would be in any normal year. But step up once again, Jim Nantz and Bill Raftery, who level up this moment. From Nantz yelling, to Raph once again delivering another all-timer Onions moment.
There are onions, Jim, and then there are nature. Onions with a kiss.
This game, more than any, shows why commentators are the unsung heroes of this sport and can make any game an all-timer. Our final stop on this look of buzzer beaters past is actually only a week ago, in the 2026 Elite Eight between Duke and UConn. Duke's looked to be the championship favorite all year and holds a 19-point lead in the first half, with UConn actively shooting 1 for 18 from 3. But the Huskies scratch and claw and gnaw their way back to being down 2 after a set of free throws with 10 seconds left. And this is where Caden Boozer, mirroring Kihei Clark from 3 years ago, decides to pass the ball instead of getting fouled, which gets deflected, getting the ball to Alex Caravan, who passes it back to Braylon Mullins, who hits the dagger from the logo to give UConn the most improbable comeback win in recent March Madness history.
Run through the ball, and who better than this guy?
Get it into Boozer, back for Sarr, ahead, Boozer, that ball deflected and stolen by Mullins. Caravan, 2 seconds, Mullins tosses it up. It's good! We're point 3!
Time will tell how this shot stacks up against the greats that I've mentioned earlier, but I do truly believe that in decades to come, we will look at this Braylon Mullins shot the way that we've looked at the others on this list, as one of the greatest in college basketball history. And that's it, folks. I hope through this video that you've learned a little bit more about the anatomy of what makes a buzzer beater. They really are the lifeblood of our sport. It's the reason why we'll never forget legends like Lorenzo Charles, Christian Laettner, Chris Jenkins, Jalen Suggs, Darius Butler, and now Braylon Mullins. This is a bit of a different style of video, so if you like this, let me know and we can make more of this style of video. And as always, make sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. I want to make a quick addendum to this video, an epilogue of sorts. The day after recording this, I went to Indianapolis to go see the D3, D2, and NIT National Championships. It was one of the coolest things that I've had the opportunity of doing. Getting to see 2 national championships in a tournament final was incredible hoops. But I also got to see something I can only describe as an act of poetry. In the D3 National Championship game, Emory was down 13 with 2 minutes left. They stormed all the way back, tying the game at 73, with 20 seconds left. I thought for all intents and purposes we were heading to overtime. But I guess I hadn't heeded my own stories, as in a repeat of the 2021 Final Four, Mary Washington went down the court, missed a shot but got the rebound, and put in the dagger to win the D3 National Championship, and I got to be there for it. And while that might not make any list 10 years down the line, it's going to be very special to me that I was able to see that a day after talking about buzzer beaters for 4 straight hours.
5 seconds. Goes to his left for the win. No, Mitchell's putback is good. Mary Washington. Oh boy.